Hey guys, here we are then with our next very special guest show host, Nausheen. What a great job she did. She's full of life, isn't she?
She is. Just looking at her is calming.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that kind of board in the background.
Yeah.
I've got one similar that Susan did for me with kind of personal messages for hers, but hers is very life-giving, isn't it? What did you like about Nausheen's video?
I love the way that she refers to giving our potential a fair chance.
Oh, yeah.
I
so
think
good,
that there's so many times that, we hear we have potential, but it's just a cliche.
Right.
But giving it a fair chance means living into it, and I love that.
At least try.
Yeah.
Be prepared to risk or whatever. And she gives us three ways that we can do that.
Yeah.
So great message. Well done, Nausheen. That's how simple it is. Anyone could do this, couldn't they? You haven't done one yet, actually.
He asked me to co-host, and then he puts me on the spot.
Yeah. We should all do them.
Yeah.
So great job, Nausheen. And if you're interested in being just like Nausheen and up here and doing, taking this slot and hosting the show, then put together a video. Just you need something to say, practice saying it, video it, send it in. You could be up there.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah,
to highlight you.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great opportunity in front of lots of people. So
absolutely.
What are you waiting for? Thanks, Nausheen. Good job. Have
Thanks,
a good weekend,
Nausheen.
everyone. Enjoy the it's a long. I think it's a
weekend.
holiday, isn't it?
Memorial
so
Day
enjoy.
coming up here in America. So.
And thanks for your service, those of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, for all you do. Thanks, guys. Lots of love. Take care.
Bye-bye.
God bless.
Hi everyone, it's Nausheen here. I am so incredibly thrilled to be with you today. I've been part of the Empowered Living community for 2 years, and it has been an incredible journey of growth, of awareness, of fun as well. So I want to have some fun with you today. When Paul and Roddy gave me the opportunity to talk to all of you and share something with you, the people that they trust, the people that they want to give the best to and bring the best to, I thought to myself, what is it that I could bring to this amazing community that would be practical and easy to use? And so I looked into my toolbox and I thought, that is something interesting that will be beneficial and that is simple. And the tool that I'm talking about here, I'm going to spend some time with you today to help you understand how to live up to your potential and really give that potential a fair chance. Before I get started with that, let me give you a little bit of introduction about myself. For those that don't know me, my name is Nausheen Saumtally, and I am the founder of a company called Elevate Now. I've chosen this name very carefully because I wanted it to represent what we do, which is elevating people through self-discovery and helping them live up to their potential with a little sense of urgency, which is now. Like the Chinese proverb says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. So now is also the time to really look into your potential and make that happen. Let me give you a little bit more background about my journey so far. I have been a business development manager at Microsoft for many years, and it has been an incredible journey. But my heart and passion did not lie there. The experience that I gathered there definitely adds up to the expertise that I bring in what I love doing today, that is helping people discover themselves and live up to their potential in their chosen area, which is what we do at Elevate Now. I am also a certified coach, speaker, and trainer from the John Maxwell team, as well as a disc behavioral analysis consultant. Now, for those that are not familiar with the disc, it is a fantastic tool that allows you to discover yourself, your strengths, your communication style, how you're being perceived, and ultimately, it equips you to see the beauty within you and the potential that you have so that you can be your best version for you and your loved ones. I also do want to mention, if you're a parent, the DISC assessment for children between 8 and 12 is also available, and it has been a life changer for parents. Deborah Tillman mentioned it. She's America's Super Nanny, and she mentioned it in the show that she did last week with Paul and Roddy. But this is a topic for another time. When I think about living an empowered life, I think about living up to my potential. And what that means is understanding myself so that I can bring my best to myself and to others, and in turn, help these people and the others live up to their potential. That is my purpose and my mission in life. Now let's get started with our topic for today, which is giving your potential a fair chance. I broke this topic into 3 steps, 3 easy steps that anybody could follow. The first step is developing the awareness that you, my friend, have potential within you. I was listening to an episode of the Maxwell Leadership podcast a few months ago. For those of you that are not familiar with it, it's a fantastic podcast. And the episode I was listening to was called Reaching Your Potential. Mark Hall, who's the CEO of all of John Maxwell's companies, was debriefing what John has been talking about. And he mentioned something that was quite interesting, that I was aware of, but he put it in a way that made me realize, oh yes, that's true. He said that in today's world and in companies, people are classified as high pos and low pos. So high potential and low potential. But reality is that we all have potential within us. This is a fact. You have potential within you. I have potential within me. Paul and Roddy obviously have potential. And I use the word obviously for a reason here. Now you see, they have been on the self-discovery journey for many, many years. And that is why it is so obvious. They know themselves. The question is, are you aware that you have potential in you and where that potential lies? Because let me tell you this, it is different for everyone. And this is what makes you unique. So that first step is really developing the awareness that you have potential within you. And as much as I can tell it to you, or Paul and Roddy can also tell you that, there is some work to be done to really strengthen that awareness so that you can move it into a state of belief, that you believe you have potential within you. And I have 3 simple steps for that. The first step, take some time to reflect on your life and write down all the things that you've done that were great. And my definition of great in this context is anything that you have done that had a positive impact. Anything that you have done that had a positive impact. So it could be the simplest thing. Let me share an example with you. Some time back, before I founded my own company, I was looking for a job and I got a job interview. I was on my way to the job interview. I was smiling as usual because this is what I do. And I was in the building, I stepped into the lift, and in that lift, there was a woman. She turned to me and she said, "Thank you for smiling. Not a lot of people do that today. It's refreshing." And so at that time, it gave me a little bit of self-confidence for my interview. But later on, when I reflected back on that, I thought to myself, I had the potential to impact people's life with a simple smile, and I had impacted that woman's life. I used my potential. So really think about the simplest thing and the more complex thing when you're writing those down and you're reflecting on your life. The second step to creating that awareness is ask the people around you that loves you, people that you trust, how have you impacted their life most? And there will be some hints in what they're going to tell you that will tell you where you have been using your potential. And what this will do is that you will now have a map in your mind around how you have been using it and where you have been using that potential. And write those down as well. And the third step to developing that awareness. And this is taken from the book Think and Grow Rich. Read those things that you have written daily. Repetition is key to really anchoring the fact that you have potential within you. And there's a whole chapter on that in the book Think and Grow Rich called Autosuggestion. And this is what we're doing in that step, to really anchoring that fact in you. So this is the first step, developing awareness that you have potential within you. The second step to giving that potential a fair chance is what I call formalizing the awareness through self-discovery. As important as that first step is, and it is crucial and a starting point, sometimes, isn't it nice to have that additional layer that will really get us to saying, yes, I am sure of it now? It feels good, isn't it, to have that confidence? And so this is where I do most of my work with the DISC assessment. So in this step, you want to understand at a deeper level, what are your strengths and how you can leverage on those to reach your potential and empower that. John Maxwell said, working on your weakness within your strength zone will always produce positive results. Working on your strengths, working on your weakness outside your strength zone will not. Now, this quote was very impactful for me because it made me realize that very often we put a lot of energy in an area that is not part of our strengths. And very often we get discouraged because what happens? We use a lot of energy and we don't see results, or we put a lot of energy, we see very little results. Because it's hard when we're working on a weakness rather than reinforcing our strengths. The reason we do that is because we are not aware what our strengths are, which really needs all of our energy. The areas that we really need to focus on and develop further. So getting that formal validation of our style is that second step to giving your potential a fair chance. Whether it's through the DISC or other methods, because there are a lot of methods out there. It's a crucial step. And a wise man said once, and his name was Paul Martinelli, the bridge that connects from where you are to your dreams is your truth. Your truth. Which brings me to the last step, which I call empowering your potential. The first two steps will really help you build clarity around your truth, as Paul calls it. In the last step, we want to add power to that potential. Let me explain what I mean here. You now know who you are, what your strengths are, and where you have had the most impact, where you have been using this potential in the past. In this step, we want to understand how to use all of that constructively to build the life that you want. And this is where I created a guidebook that I call Empower Your Potential. And as a gift to you, the Empowered Living Community, you can access it for free on the link that I will give you later on in a few minutes. This is the workbook that I'm talking about. It's called Empower Your Potential, Give Your Potential a Fair Chance. This guidebook was built following the same Maxwell Leadership podcast that I mentioned earlier. And in that podcast, John tells a story. He was writing a book at that time, and he went for dinner with his friend, and he had this question in his head. And he asked it to his friend. He asked his friend, how do you help people achieve their dreams and realize their potential? The friend had the simplest answer. He said, you need to have more reasons for reaching your potential than reasons against it. You need to have more reasons for reaching your potential than reasons against it. I thought to myself this was so true, and I realized that most of us don't take the time to do that. Because reality is, and Paul and Roddy talks a lot about that, our conditioning, our subconscious mind, our programming, it is ready to give us all the reasons for us not to live up to our potential. And I remember Paul giving this example. We sometimes get this idea, this inspired idea or thought, and in that split of a second, we think, wow, this is a genius idea. And in that split of a second, you can see the impact that this idea would have. And it's true. But the seconds that follow that, our mind is clouded with reasons not to action on it. And it says something like, you cannot because, and there's a list of things there why you cannot. Because we know why we cannot do it. We have the list of reasons for that. We have never built the list of reasons why we can do it. So with that in mind, it actually takes intentional, conscious effort to have more reason to live up to your potential than reason against it. And in this guidebook, I've laid out a series of questions that will help you think through that and really build strong reasons for living up to your potential. It's divided into 3 portions. The first one is self. How is your potential related to you? And there are a series of questions there that will really be thought-provoking. The second and the third one is people and impact. And this will ensure that you are connected to your potential at an emotional level. And that will really help you bring it to life and serve you best and step into your potential, and thereby giving your potential a fair chance. So unfortunately, this is all the time that we have today. I have so much more to share on this topic, but I gave you a beginning to it, and that workbook will really help you for that. I do want to leave you with this. In critical times, we are often scared to invest, but investing in ourselves is the best investment that we can make, that will always bring results, and that will always be with you no matter where you are. Whether it's time that you're investing or money that you're investing or something else, you are worth it. So as promised, you can download this workbook on the following link. It will also be posted on the link to this video. So the link is www.elevate-now.ca/courses with an S/ELC. Thank you for your time. It's been great sharing those with you. And I do want to say thank you to Paul and Roddy for giving me a chance to pour my passion into your life as well. And remember, smile your way through life. Thank you.